Good morning. So day 3 involves removing the bandage. So that's one of the things I just got out of the shower. I want to do it while it's still kind of wet, so it's not sticking to the skin. I only have one hand, so it's going to be a very long, drawn-out process. So as I pull this off, the bandages are coming off. So I just want you not to be too surprised, because again, they were incisions. There is a lot of pain with those areas. But I got most of it off, which was irritating my skin. Well, it's day 3 of my surgery, so just today was the day the bandages come off, so I want to show you what it looks like without the bandages. I have fully showered. Yesterday when I still had the bandages on, I obviously had a towel and something over it to kind of protect it a little bit. Again, I have to be really careful what I can and can't wear because I can't really move my shoulder. Now remember, in my directions it does say to move my elbow, so I do have my sling off right now just so I can move my elbow because it does start hurting. My elbow has been really kind of stiff and in a little bit of pain. So I do have the sling off right now just so I can move my elbow. But I am holding my arm stationary so my shoulder doesn't move while I move the elbow, because again, some of the same muscles are tied into where the surgery was. So I have to be very careful. So I'm trying to, do what I can to make sure I'm not starting to atrophy and watch too many of my muscles weaken and go down in strength, or start hurting like this was. If you saw it earlier, it was definitely bright pink. The pink is starting to come down now as I go down, but you can definitely see my muscle is definitely changing. So I'm definitely trying to do a little bit of just straightening. The directions say no weights, it just says straightening, so it's just lifting moving the air around. So that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do to make sure that I can still move my elbow and I still have the strength from my shoulder down. So everything from my elbow down should be working as normal as it can be. I'm going to put the sling back in, obviously, because I need to protect it. This looks awful. From further injury or damage or anything else. So now that the bandages are off, some of that's going to be able to dry out. The bleeding obviously is good. If it hasn't scabbed, it should be scabbing here soon. Still look like there was a little bit of blood on it, and I see my cat coming forward. So since this is my second rotator cuff surgery, the first one was on my left side. Now I'm doing my right side. My left side was dominant, so I had a little more, I think it was a little more intense for me the first time, about 2.5 years ago. And one of the things that I had last time was the dressing stick, and it's a grabbing stick as well. This was extremely important when I had my dominant arm, because I was not used to grabbing everything with my right arm because that wasn't my dominant side. This has been helpful when it comes to getting dressed because you can't pull up that side. So luckily I'm blessed where I can wear dresses. If you're a male, you may or may not have skirts and dresses that you wear or feel comfortable in. You may be able to wear, I have tank tops, spaghetti straps, which has been helpful because I can slide them over my bent arm while I'm getting dressed, but it's very difficult. It's not a fun process. Same with putting on socks and shoes. It's important to try to still get down because you're still in the full sling. So I do still have the full sling. I do have a second sling that I ordered online, which is just a mesh sling for me to use when I'm in the shower, because ultimately I'm going to start putting this in the shower. Obviously when I shower, but I want to make sure I still hold my shoulder stationary so I don't pull the stitches or the anchor, because mine was anchored in my rotator cuff, and so I need to make sure that fully heals. So I do have a shower sling that I use so that way I can dry out it during the day while I'm not showering, and then I can use it again the next day. This one has a lot more material. It obviously has the support around my waist, so it's not rubbing up against my skin. It has a lot more cloth in it, so this is definitely going to be a lot warmer. It's March, luckily, March. It's still March, so it's not too warm yet, although we're supposed to hit the 80s, I believe, this weekend. So I may switch over to the mesh one a little bit more frequently if this starts getting too warm, because if you start getting warm, you start getting sweaty, and that's one thing this came in handy last time is it did get sweaty and itchy, and this was able to actually go into the actual and itch. So remember that there, and it was just a regular, I think they call it a dressing stick, or and this has been very helpful for me when it comes to grabbing things or things I need slid over. Next to my recliner, because I do have a recliner that I'm sleeping on most of the day. I went actually to my bed last night with a whole lot of pillows just to make sure that I didn't roll over and to make sure I had a support, because if I don't have the shoulder support, then the other muscles start hurting, like my neck muscles started hurting because it had nothing to support it. In a very uncomfortable position. So but this also helps me pull like some of my medicines. I have a little coffee or a little TV tray that I got pretty cheap off Walmart, and I just kind of pull the medicines over that I need when I need my painkillers. Primarily it's just my painkillers. I'm completely off prescription painkillers now. I am only on over the counter. It's an ibuprofen Motrin mix, or Tylenol Motrin, I believe. Whatever, it's a mix of ibuprofen and Tylenol, and so that one is supposed to be easier on my stomach, so I've decided to go with that to make a little less painful for my stomach, since I do have stomach issues. But other than that, this is where we're at the beginning of day 3. We'll see how the day goes.